Hello, my name is Elizabeth Blandon. I'm an immigration attorney in Weston, Florida, certified by the Florida Bar as an immigration expert. Today I wanted to speak about Venezuelans obtaining asylum in the United States based on the recent events in that country. It is true that Venezuelans can obtain asylum. That is so whether they have been in the United States for many years or they just recently arrived. The important thing, however, is to explain the case in a way where you will win, whether in front of immigration or in front of an immigration judge. And this is why it is important to get the advice of an experienced and competent immigration attorney. First of all, asylum is protection in the United States. What that means is that the foreign national will be allowed to remain in the United States, living legally, working legally, with a driver's license of their state, with a social security number, and they will also be allowed to travel internationally to any country. They should not, however, return to their home country. Asylum is a good law because it gives the applicants many benefits. Not only these immigration benefits that I've mentioned, but it also sometimes gives financial benefits for being an asylee. It is only given, however, to people who have been harmed or may in the future be harmed because of their race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, and I'll explain what that means in a moment, or their political opinion. Let me explain why this means that people who may have been in the United States, Venezuelans who have been in the United States for 15 years, may benefit from asylum now. This is so if there's a change in the country condition. And I'll give the example of someone who is of Jewish religion, who follows the Jewish religion. The Jewish community in Venezuela has lessened significantly in recent years. A community that once boasted over tens of thousands of people is now less than 10,000 people for a country that has over 25 million people in its population. Because the conditions are worsening in the country, if a Venezuelan is of Jewish descent, they can make the argument that they cannot go back to Venezuela now because the situation for people who are of Jewish faith is worsening. This is also true if someone recently converts to the Jewish faith. That will be a changed personal circumstance that will also result in the person being allowed to file for asylum even if they've been here for many years. That's only one of the ways that a person can win asylum if they've been here for many years. Usually there's a 1-year deadline to apply. So if a person's a Venezuelan and they recently arrived, you want to speak to an immigration attorney as soon as possible. People who have recently applied and are obtaining immigration applications and are thinking of applying for asylum may be doing it because of the civil unrest in the country. Now remember, half the country is having problems with civil unrest and general violence. So if a person just applies saying, I'm applying because I am a protester and I disagree with the government, that case more likely than not will be denied. You want to be able to say your case in a proper way using the right law, say the same facts, but just being able to explain it the correct way. And that's why an immigration attorney can help you do that. So what is a particular social group and why do so many people want to fall into that category? Particular social group is very wide. And if a person is being harmed or may in the future be harmed because they are members of a particular social group, they get asylum. What are some unusual social groups that many people form a part of? Well, women who may be harmed because they are women, or females who may be harmed because they are females for certain reasons. In the same argument can be made perhaps for landowners. The situation for landowners in Venezuela is very difficult now. There's really no protection either through the courts or with the police when someone comes in and steals land and properties. So that might be a social group to think of. In addition, companies, certain types of companies are suffering. So if somebody owns a company, for example, construction companies, that may be a particular social group, and a person can get asylum based on that. It's also very important to note that not only can the main person get asylum, but also their spouse and any children under 21. So if one Venezuelan is here in the United States, applies for asylum and gets asylum, even if the other family members that I've mentioned are outside the United States, they will be brought in as refugees. All of these are very exciting times, very important times, but remember that asylum has strict deadlines and it requires absolutely the help of a competent and experienced professional. So I urge you to see someone who may be able to help you. In addition to this video, there are links below about an asylum blog, as well as information for scholarships for asylees. I wish you all the best, and this is Elizabeth Blandon saying, we're here to open the doors to your success.